Today it is my pleasure to lead this session, and I would like to invite you to use the speaker view during the workshop so that you can see the slides that Linda Marie will show on her TV. You find the speaker view in the right corner up here, and you can use speaker or gallery, and I would advise you to use speaker, please, so that you have the most of all of this. Now, what's coming up? Linda Marie, as you already heard, is the first runner-up in the 2020 World Championship of Public Speaking. She is a powerful and inspirational public speaker, a certified experiential trainer, and an ICF-certified ontological coach. She has spoken internationally in more than 20 countries on 6 continents and to more than 100,000 people. So Linda Marie is an influential thought leader and a trainer in the domain of leadership and public speaking. Her signature program, Champions of Change, is a visionary leadership development program designed to transform participants into leaders in their lives, their organizations, and their family and their communities. So Linda Marie speaks from her heart, and this is enough for people to sit up and to listen. That's what you're to do. I'm sure she has some gold nuggets for us in her workshop, Be Your Speech, Change the World. Please welcome Linda Marie with me.
Hello. Can everybody hear me? Yes, you can hear me. Good, perfect. So, why are you here today? You could be somewhere else, but you're here, yes? I want everyone to take out a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen and write down why you're here. And I mean 3 things that you are going to create for yourself today. 3 pieces of value that you are going to create today. You're not here to just have us regurgitate content on you. You're here to create value for yourself. Next to each of those 3 things, I want you to write on a scale of 1 to 10, how committed you are. Like 1 is, if I get it, I get it. 10 is, I am here, I'm in it to win it, I am walking away with golden nuggets. Because I'm going to tell you, today is an opportunity, sure, for you to connect with some friends, maybe meet some new friends, but it is also an opportunity for you to create a different future for yourself and your audiences. An opportunity for you to create a different possibility in the world that wouldn't happen but for you being here today. But it is only an opportunity. Make no mistake. The value you create for yourself today in this full day of amazing lineups is up to you and only you. And it starts with your getting committed. So get committed right this second to create value in the world. The next step is to become fully present, fully present to the opportunity that today is. So I want everybody to close their eyes. If you're in a room and the door is open, go shut the door, no distractions for at least the next 50 minutes. And I want you to get settled. Sit comfortably in your chair. If your legs are crossed, uncross them and place your feet flat on the ground. Have your hands, open palm, sitting on your legs. Straighten your spine and comfortably let your shoulders drop. Then inhale quickly for the count of 2 and exhale slowly for the count of 8. And as you exhale, let your body sink into the surface that you're sitting on. Let it get heavy. Breathing in again. Exhale and let all of the tension in your body, imagine it's flowing out through the bottoms of your feet. All the doingness of the day, if you were in Europe. All the worries of the day, if you've just woken up in California and you're thinking about your to-do list. All those thoughts swimming around in your head, let them flow out through your feet until you are in a state of empty calm. When you reach this state, begin to breathe at a normal pace, but maintain that calm as you let the outside world drift away. You are fully present in this moment. And listen to the song that's about to play. Are we, are we playing the song? Gerard? Are we having technical difficulty?
We're having a shade of a technical problem, but we'll get back to you shortly.
Okay, everybody keep your eyes closed, breathing in and out. Feeling nothing but the space of the presence in you. Gerard, shall we just continue without the song?
Sounds like a plan, Linda Marie.
Okay, so everybody open your eyes. Fully present to what you're going to create for yourself today. Fully present to what I'm going to share with you. And the first thing I'm going to share with you is this. More than 1.5 million people have died so far this year as the result of an illness that they didn't even know existed on January 1st. I knew 3 of them. I think about those people. I think about what they wanted to create in their lives that they didn't have the opportunity to do. I think about and wonder if they had the opportunity to change the world, if they said everything they wanted to say. Now, I'm committed to being with you here today in a way that has you get connected to the difference you can make in the world, the difference that I'm committed to you making in the world. I'm also committed to sharing with you a few of the secrets I've learned over the last 20 years as an experiential trainer and an ontological coach. Ontological coaching is all about being, and it will have people remember you. And more importantly, remember your message. So you're going to want to write down some of the things I say today. Keep that pen and paper handy. Write down any questions you have that you want to connect with me about later. The first secret is to embrace the news. Bad news first. We're all going to be dead soon. It's true. By dead, I mean kick the bucket, bought the farm, taking a dirt nap, pushing up daisies. Think about it. In 100 short years, give or take a few, given technology and life expansion, everybody on this planet is going to be gone, including me and you. Now, the good news is, I told you the bad news. That's the good news. And when you know, you can't pretend not to know. So you know the bad news. You're welcome. So if we're going to change the world, it's time to start now, don't you think? This moment, here and now, ready to change the world. Paradigms are shifting. More good or bad news, depending how you look at it. What is a paradigm shift? There's a huge paradigm shift happening in the world today. Most people aren't even conscious of it. A paradigm shift is an important change that happens that has people do or be different, and it creates a change in the world. It usually starts or is kicked off by some kind of crisis, followed by a revolutionary change that results in a new world. For the crisis, I give you the coronavirus, COVID-19, a game changer. COVID-19 has changed everything. It's changed how we work. The company I work for is not going back to a building. We will continue to work for the rest of our careers virtually. COVID-19 has changed how we socialize. I don't go to restaurants or bars anymore. I have virtual happy hour with my friends. I do Thanksgiving online. More importantly, COVID-19 has changed the way we speak and who we speak to. In the last 3 months, I've been in over 30 countries speaking to tons of people, all of it virtually. What an amazing opportunity for you and me. This paradigm shift exponentially increases our chances of actually changing the world. We have unlimited access to the rest of the world. And I'm going to tell you a secret. They want to know what you have to say. I can tell you, I've been there. They want to know. And remember when I said that the paradigm shift will change the way we do things? That also means how we speak, how we deliver our messages to the world. What works on a stage, what works in a conference room, does not work on this stage, does not work in this conference room called a computer monitor. One of the reasons for that is that people are in their homes. There are way more distractions in the virtual world. You've probably already figured that out. Lots of reasons for that. One thing, here is the pet, here, the family pet. I have a cat sitting right here, begging me to pet him. My husband's in there making breakfast. I can smell it. It's a distraction. With one click, because we're also sitting in front of our computers, with one click, if I lose your attention, you're going to be reading emails. You're going to be using social media, maybe playing video games, or my personal favorite, online shopping. Give me a boring 7-minute Toastmaster speech, and I can spend a lot. I have my favorites. They're saved and bookmarked. An insurance company in London recently did a study to determine why costly, careless household accidents happened. And they discovered something. 10 years ago, the average adult attention span was 12 minutes. In 2020, it's 5 minutes. What does that mean for us? What does that mean for us as Toastmasters? Well, the most important thing it means is that a perfectly crafted speech, perfectly languaged, perfect structure, perfect organization with a perfect stream of logic and, oh yeah, an original idea, all delivered with perfect vocal variety, pronunciation, and grammar, is not enough to have people remember you. If you are delivering a 7-minute speech, you may very well, given that 5-minute attention span, lose them 2 minutes before your big finish that you have planned. They're off in the kitchen making a sandwich. Imagine if you're at the finals at the 2021 World Championship of Public Speaking and you've drawn first speaking order. The kiss of death. The judges are likely to get distracted prior to you completing your speech. And then there are 7 more after you.
Yeah, boy.
Those judges aren't going to remember your name, much less your perfectly crafted, perfectly delivered speech. So what do I do? This is not good news to me, Linda Marie. How do I get those judges to remember me? More importantly, how do I get those judges to vote for me? If you saw my speech, you saw that I didn't use any humor. I didn't have any gestures. And I was the first runner-up, or as I like to say, the #1 female in the world. How do you get people to remember you? How do you get your customers to buy your product if you're working virtually? Whether you're speaking to potential customers or Toastmaster judges, the first thing you need to do is surrender to your purpose. What is your purpose? Why are you here? And I don't mean here today. I mean, why are you here on this planet? In this century, in the country that you're in the time that you're in? What is your reason for existing? Do you know? It's time to find out. Now, my purpose, my life's purpose, isn't really anything earth-shattering. It is really pretty simple. My purpose is to have people get that they matter. That's it. Everything I do, however, is designed to deliver on that, is designed with that purpose in mind. It doesn't matter if it's a 7-minute Toastmaster speech, even if it's an international contest speech, or a 1-hour keynote, or my full day Life of No Regrets training, or my 9-month Champions of Change organizational program. All of them, every single one, designed and delivered with the absolute crystal clear intention to have people get that they matter. And they get that they matter, they act differently in the world and they change the world. It's why I'm here with you today. In fact, here's some more bad news. I'm not even here today for you. Truth be told, I'm here to have you get that you matter so that you will be different in the world, that you will speak different in the world. And as a result of that, you will change the world with your messages. I'm not here for you. I'm here for all the people in the world whose lives you are going to change with your message. And it doesn't matter what your message is, but when you know your purpose, let it come through everything you do, especially when you speak. Whether it's a humorous speech or you're speaking to a client. So if you don't know your purpose yet, you might want to start by asking yourself this question. How do you want to be remembered? The answer to this question, and I suggest you write about it if you keep a journal, do some writing about it, just some free flowing of ideas sometime this weekend. Because the answer to this question will point you in the right direction of your life's purpose. You may as well start thinking about it because make no mistake, you will be remembered for something. Take this little girl, for example. Her name is Melissa, and she will always be remembered for changing lives. Melissa was born with a long list of birth defects and had many special medical and physical needs. She required a lot of care. In order to go back to work after she was born, I needed to find someone to take care of her. I needed that insurance, so I needed to go back to work. But I was having no luck at all. People were afraid to take care of her. And then I met a woman named Cheryl. She had heard about my predicament and contacted me, and she said, "Hey, I don't know anything about how to take care of a medically fragile child, but if you'll treat me, I would love to help you. I would love to take care of Melissa." So I taught her what she needed to know. I taught her how to suction a trach, how to do G-tube feedings, how to run her heart monitor. I taught everything to her. And she was Melissa's caregiver for 5 years until we moved away. And we kept in touch for a while, but then we drifted apart. Now, Melissa is 18 years old in this picture, and she died a year later. So many people showed up at Melissa's celebration of life, and I reached out to others who had made a huge difference in her life. And when I did, I found something out that was amazing. Melissa had changed the lives for Will and Cheryl Stark. They were so taken with Melissa and her being that Melissa showed them what their life purpose was. Because of Melissa, they adopted 6 severely handicapped children. They had been abandoned in state institutions. They were now able to grow up in a loving and caring family. How did this little girl that couldn't speak or do math or even write her name change the lives of 6 severely handicapped children, giving them full, loving, caring futures? I believe that it was her purpose. Imagine the difference you can make in the world with all the abilities and skills that you have in your toolbox. You have no excuses. You have everything you need to make your audience remember you. And as a result, you have everything you need to change the world. Now, there are a couple things to keep in mind when you're creating your message for the world, no matter what the message is. Start with the end in mind. How do you want your audience to be different after they hear you speak? What do you want them to be thinking about? What would they be feeling? And more importantly, what would they be doing different as a result of how you are being with them? Are they prospective clients that will be buying your product? Are they contest judges at the World Championship of Public Speaking, the finals? And they're declaring you the 2021 World Champion of Public Speaking. Whatever you want your audience to be doing, wherever you want them to get to, guess what? You have to take them there. If you want them to be different, they can't go where you won't take them. If you want them to be different as a result of hearing you, you need to be different when you speak to them. You need to be your message. Stop doing speeches. No matter what the message is, it doesn't matter. My message is always small. My message is, you matter. If you're going to be about it, be about it. That's it. It's a simple message. But I share it everywhere I go. So exactly how do you be a message? Like, it sounds simple. Yeah, just be a message. But how does that happen? There are some tricks. There are some skills to being your message. The first one is keep it simple. And I don't mean your message. Your message may be deep and profound, but you have to keep the rest of it simple so your message is the star. No other distractions. Don't let your appearance be a distraction. Before you speak, and I mean this, try on at least 5 different outfits, and that includes you guys. Try an outfit that reinforces the speech, but doesn't distract. Make sure you video yourself in that outfit so you know how the color shows up. Check it out on your virtual stage. Don't wear the same color as your background. You'll bleed into it. Don't let your speaking area be a distraction. What is your speaking area? I'm going to tell you. It's from the ceiling to the floor, from the wall behind your camera to the wall behind you. All of that is your stage. No more having to worry about on the stage in the when you're on the stage speaking to a room. Your stage just got way bigger. So you get to step back. Don't be a talking head. Don't let the message that is going to change the world come from a talking head while you're sitting down staring at your computer. Stand back far enough that your gestures never break the plane of your stage. You don't want anything happening outside. Don't let the wall behind you be a distraction. In the semifinals, I saw people who hung up sheets. Move furniture if you have to. Don't let your Garanimals print on your sheets behind you be a distraction. Don't let lighting be a distraction. Have good invisible lighting. No chandeliers hanging down into the top of your screen. No bright lights behind you. Don't let your skin tone be a distraction. This is important with lighting. Right now, right over there, I have a green light on me. Now that might sound weird, but I am so white, I am so pale that without that green light on me, I look like I'm from the planet Pandora, totally blue. Don't look down at your camera. Have your camera eye level or above. I don't want to see your 3 chins while you're giving me the message that's going to change the world. Don't use a camera that's built into your computer. I have a $40 Logitech 920. Beautiful, much better than the camera that's on my computer. Then the next step is to develop a powerful presence. Your first impression starts before you open your mouth. If you're with judges, it builds rapport with the judges immediately before you even speak. Consider this. Everyone is arriving to that place of hearing you speak from a different place. They might be thinking about the speech that was right before you, if it's a competition. They may have just had a fight with their boss, or even worse, their spouse. They might be in a terrible mood. They may have just woken up if they're in California and stumbled onto the computer. How you set the stage will bring them into the present moment, open to the experience you're going to offer, and keep them there. And the message you will be delivering, they will remember if you catch them and hold them from the beginning. So first off, relax your face and smile. So many people in the contest, they look scared to death after they turn their camera on. It sets rapport. It opens people up to a different kind of listening if you will connect with them. Set yourself in a stable position. So much of this goes on. I do something that I call the power speaker stance. I pretend I'm a marionette. You know, marionette puppets with like a cord coming out of my head, pulling me up. And what it does, when that cord pulls up, and I actually envision this as soon as I get in front of the camera, it lengthens my spine. It has my shoulders drop. If that cord is holding me up, I can't do this because it's holding me up. It has my feet spaced apart, and I am balanced. More importantly, my arms hang comfortably by my side. I'm not trying to put them in pockets, or this is a common one, or this, or people get all excited. If you're a marionette, it just hangs straight by your side. Then I find a spot to focus on. If I'm on a stage, I focus on a spot at the back of the room. Every time that I'm in the virtual world, my camera, my eyes don't camera. I do, however, let my visual awareness expand into my peripheral vision. This way, if you were on gallery view, I could see all your faces. I call it my panoptic gaze of awareness. It allows me to create a presence to see what's going on. I can see a car out here, out this window, and I can see a light coming in from the kitchen, but I have never taken my eyes off the camera. Gestures. Gestures are an important part of how you speak. And if your hands are in the marionette position, every gesture you have will be important, but it will be intentional. Let every single one of your gestures be meaningful. Your gesture should be written into your speech. For example, open body position while stepping forward increases focus for your audience. You don't want to be doing this with your audience when you're giving the message it's going to change the world. Tilting your head when you're thinking about something creates empathy with the audience. This position, what I'm about to tell you, it is a fact. You can believe it. Creates believability. Or the placator stance. Believe me, please. Judges, vote for me. Or the professor. You can believe me. I'm smart, I'm intelligent, and what I'm telling you is factual. Looking up. I'm thinking about something. And my favorite, inhaling audibly, and a sound of a laugh has people think the next thing you're going to say, they really need to be tuned into. Even more important than your stance and your gestures is your voice and the language that you use. Why is that? Your voice is what's carrying your message. Communication is what speeches are, comes from actually a Latin word that means to share or to commune. When you speak, you are creating a connection with your audience that is more than just the imparting of knowledge. You are inventing new worlds and new possibilities with the language that you are speaking. If you think about your speeches and the words in your speeches, think about the words as the lyrics to the song of your message, and your voice as the music behind the lyrics. Experiment with tempo, changing from a normal tempo to a decreased tempo will have people lean in. Changing from a decreased tempo to a fast tempo and no pauses, and has people really think, what is going on? What are you talking about? And it connects people with you on a human level. Every one of you, I'm sure, already knows about the effective pause. The most effective pause lasting at least 5 seconds. But there are other ones you may not have heard about, although you've heard them. The first one is elongated vowels. Now, if you've ever had a teenager in your house, you know this one. Mom, I want to go, please. That is an attention getter in a speech. Elongated vowels or side effects. I'd bray like a donkey if I got my message across. Play with volume. Increase volume for emphasis. Or combine techniques. If you really want your audience to remember you, use the volume and speak more loudly, and then speak fast and fast and fast, and people will come back from that sandwich they've been making in the kitchen. Experiment with these things. Get quieter to increase anticipation. All the secrets we're going to share later. Shh, don't tell the person who went to the kitchen for a sandwich. The key to message impact is variety. So learn it and play with all of it. If you need more tips, reach out to me. Consider learning styles. Your speeches should be designed so that everyone in the audience remembers you. And people learn differently. There are different ways and different words that members in the audience will hear based on what learning style they are. There will be visual learners in the audience, and you want to include phrases that visual learners, their ears will perk up to. Things like, do you see what I mean? Putting emphasis on the visual word. I watched the events unfold in front of me. I want to show you what I mean. You will get your visual learners. If you have auditory learners in the audience, which you will, you want to include phrases that include things that speak to them. Does this ring true for you? Let me tell you something. How does that sound? Auditory learners will perk up if you use words to speak to them. For the kinesthetic learner, you can use phrases like, how does that grab you? How do you feel about what I'm saying? It really pulled at my heartstrings. I really want to touch your heart. And then there are even people that are, believe it or not, olfactory or gustatory learners. Smell and taste. Boy, that idea really stunk. I inhaled the moment. The sweet taste of success or a sour attitude. Write your speech and make sure that you include language that speaks to all different types of learners, because the idea is to keep their attention. And then experiment and experiment and experiment. If your audience gets distracted from your message, you are the reason, and only you can change it. So surrender to experimentation. You are a groundbreaking leader. You're a Toastmaster. We are trailblazers, especially in the visual world. And guess what? Get ready to break some rules. Be willing to swing way out there. Experiment with being twice as animated as you think you should be. If you think you're being silly, if you think you're being hysterical, trust me, in the virtual world, you're only half as funny as you think you are. Sorry to give you that news. You need to get feedback from people, and only people that care enough about you to be totally honest with you. When you think you're being exciting, someone's off making themselves a sandwich in the kitchen because you have bored them. You experience Lois at the beginning of this. Lois is bigger than her usual self because she knows she's in the virtual environment, and she knows the secret to swinging way out there. The audience is only seeing a small version of who you really are. So you have to be a bigger version of yourself. You have to be bigger than you would be on a stage the size of a 747. Now that seems strange, but it's true. And in order to do this experimentation, you need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. But when you surrender to your life's purpose, your comfort is irrelevant. My comfort is irrelevant. If we're going to be about changing the world, we have to forget about how we look. And this does require courage. I have a voice on my shoulder that I have to stand up to all the time. And right now, this voice is telling me, you look stupid. All those people are judging you out there. Linda Marie, she's too old. You're going to fail. That voice is always with me. And you know what I said? I'm not a failure if I never give up. And I never give up. So let go of thinking about how you look. Let go of thinking about how exposed you feel. Let go of trying to control what happens in your space or in the room. If you do that, you will create a space for magic to come in. You will open the door for amazing things to happen for people in your audience. So try something you have never done before. Give your speech laying down on the ground as you experiment with delivering it. Not when you're online, but to get a different sense of yourself. Try an improv class. Sing your message. Make a complete fool of yourself on purpose. Here's a real big one. Give a speech to your club about what you are most afraid people will find out about you. And be vulnerable when you deliver it. Give a speech in your bathing suit. Video yourself delivering your speech in total silence, speaking your speech in your head, but all you're videoing is your gestures. It will have you really keyed in to your gestures. Experiment, experiment, experiment. And then embody your speech. How do you embody a speech? Well, first you memorize that puppy. You live it, you eat it, you breathe it. You speak it forwards. You speak it backwards. You practice that speech 100 or 1,000 times, however many times you need for it to become a part of your DNA. And then you forget the speech. It's like dancing. If you've ever learned or taken dance lessons, first you learn all these steps and they tell you, okay, right foot, left foot, go here, left, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But eventually you forget the counting. The dance is ready to hand and you just dance. That's how your speech is to be. I mean, I don't need to reread the driver's manual every time I get in a car, and I'm sure you don't either. That's because we have embodied the knowledge called, this is how you drive a car. I get in the car, I turn on the key, I know where the turn signals are, I know how to shift gears. I just drive the car. That's how your message should be in the world. That's how your speeches should be in the world. If you memorize a speech and you just verbally vomit it on people, they're not going to want to hear your message. Don't be a boring scale. Here's my speech. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Boring. I learn all the notes. I learn all the words. But then I just do improvisational jazz. Let it be music. Let it be music for people. Let them not experience you dumping a memorized speech on them. And remember to over-prepare and dance. Experiential always wins. So what's experiential? People will forget what you say. You're going to forget the words I'm saying you today. You're going to forget the stories I tell you today. People forget stories. People forget the facts and the figures and all the hundreds of little tidbits you share with them, all the quotes from famous people. But there is one thing people never forget, based on the theory of accelerated learning. They will never forget you, and they will never forget your message if you have them feel something. Anger, joy, hope, sadness, embarrassment, fear, anticipation, even outrage is memorable. If you will speak to people's emotional center, they will remember you. Memories are more strongly formed when emotion is attached to it. And every message you give can carry emotion. It doesn't matter what your speech is about. It can all carry emotion. If I sold insurance for a living, which I do not, I wouldn't be showing people policies and facts and figures and numbers and monthly fees. I would have that person connect with the legacy they wanted to leave in the world. I would connect them emotionally to how they wanted to be remembered. I would play out for them what that looked like, what it felt like if they were leaving that legacy in the world or for their families, and how they would be remembered and what people would be saying about them. If you create an experience for your audience, you can change their world. Being your speech starts with being fully present to your message, though. So don't hide behind your technology. Don't be a talking head next to a PowerPoint presentation. This is not my presentation. I am the presentation. This is a visual aid. Let your speech and your message come through you, not through some PowerPoint slides. If you're going to be angry in your speech, boy, that really made me angry. No, be angry. If you're talking about something that's emotional for you, allow yourself to be in touch with that emotion. Let it come up for you. If you need to have Kleenex close by, have Kleenex, who cares? But I'm not talking about acting. We've all seen people acting out. It clearly comes as inauthentic. So I've had people say to me, how can you access anger instantly? You can't, it has to be acting. And I say, look, do you have kids? Any mother who's walked into their teenage child's room to find a week's worth of dirty dishes knows how to come up with anger in 10 seconds. And as for sadness, I cry every time I hear Sarah McLachlan's voice since she started doing those sad commercials for abandoned puppies. You can be an emotion. You have all different ways of being at your disposal. Speak like it matters. This is powerful. Because Toastmasters, this is the most important message I'm going to give you. The way you speak and what you speak about does matter. This picture is a man in London about 3 years ago, walking across a bridge ready to end his life. Someone walking by saw him and reached over and grabbed him. He enrolled other passerbys to help him, and they held that man. Some of them took their belts off and wrapped it around his legs. Some took rope. They held that man for an hour and a half until the authorities could arrive and get him to safety. And here's the thing, complete strangers leaning up to this man. These two men on either side of this individual are giving, I don't know if they're Toastmasters, they're giving the most important speech of their lives. An hour and a half speech of messages to have this man get that he mattered. Powerful. What if you spoke every time you spoke to your audience as though you were saving the life of someone in that audience, even if you're giving a humorous speech? What difference are you committed to being in the world? Be truly shocking. Be fascinating. Be spectacularly memorable. Be vulnerable to the promise of the impact you have in the lives of other people. Be your message and change the world.
And I would like to quote from the chat, Emily Thompson, that your speech, Linda, was speech changing. Thank you for your inspirational words. If there are any questions, I will post in the chat how you can contact Linda, and I will hand over to Louise. Back to you.
Oh my gosh, that was just amazing. Linda Marie, I hope you have an opportunity to read the chat. There were so many incredible takeaways. I would love for everybody to show the love, give us some reactions on your screen, raise your hands, raise the roof. This is it. This is where we get to do it. Where's our hearts? Thank you, Cassie. I've got some thumbs up going on here. And Mathilde just has a beautiful heart going all over the place. Mathilde has put Linda's connection in the chat. Thank you ever so much. If you would, just put something that was your takeaway. There were so many things. And how many of you got goosebumps when you heard Linda talking about the man on the bridge, right? When she taught, I still get goosebumps. That's what I love about Linda Marie, is that she has this opportunity and the ability to bring out these emotions, that we feel it, that we know that things are going on. So I'm watching this man on a bridge. It's a static picture, but her story, her connections, whether it was visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory, and there was another one in there, but I can't remember exactly what it was perfect, because it made us feel, it made us hear, it made us imagine we could be there on the bridge with those people. And that was the most hour and a half important speech that anybody in their life could give. And I know I got goosebumps from it. So I'm loving these takeaways. You feel like dancing. I get that. I did see some people will not give their speech in their bathing suits. Hurrah, I'm the same way. Thank you. And get over your fears, because this is what it's about. Once you get over the fear, nothing can stop you. So one more time, let's give it up for Linda Marie. And thank you so very much for taking the time out of your incredibly busy schedule.